The current training camp mood is totally focused on final cuts, so keep pounding. Wide receiver Jaseem Reed is literally fighting his way onto our active roster with 2 impressive preseason touchdowns. Both Dan Morgan and Dave Canales are openly praising his consistency and playmaking skills. You must hear this update. Stay until the end, please like and subscribe today. Jaseem Reed scored a 6-yard touchdown during our loss to the Bills, putting him firmly on the map to earn a 53-man roster spot. As an undrafted player out of San Diego who spent last year on the practice squad, his transition from reserve to potential contributor is remarkable. Through 2 games, he has turned 6 targets into 5 catches for 47 yards and 2 scores. What makes this even bigger is hearing coach Dave Canales call him consistent and smart. Is he the real deal, or are we just witnessing a preseason mirage? I am genuinely thrilled by his production, but I also want to pump the brakes before we crown him a starter. With final cuts arriving on August 30th, can he actually displace the veterans currently ahead of him? The front office clearly loves his playmaking, but does his snap count justify a full-time role? Hard work pays off when you consider how he arrived here, grinding through a rookie season exclusively on the practice squad. I looked into his history at the University of San Diego, where he dominated with 77 receptions for over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. That collegiate production is rare for an undrafted talent. Yet, he managed to earn that reserve future deal this January through pure grit. And that changes everything regarding how I view his ceiling this year. Does his ability to grasp these complex concepts faster than others signify a polished veteran in the making? General Manager Dan Morgan definitely seems to think so, specifically highlighting his reliability during the broadcast. If he sustains this level of discipline, the coaching staff might struggle to keep him off the active roster, especially given his high football IQ and proven capacity for securing tough catches. So that is the news itself. Now let's get into what it actually means. And here's why that's a big deal for our immediate roster outlook. Seeing Jaseem Reed secure that 6-yard touchdown catch really highlights his capacity to operate effectively within the tight windows of the red zone. Does this efficiency against Buffalo finally force the front office to reevaluate the bottom of our depth chart? I suspect it does, especially considering he understands the concept so well, which gives him an edge over other guys fighting for their jobs. His progression from a practice squad player to a consistent target means we might have found a hidden gem who can provide reliable production from the slot. With the final 53-man roster deadline looming, do we really want to risk losing his potential by cutting him now and hoping he clears waivers to return home? Investing in a young receiver like Jaseem Reed provides genuine upside for our passing attack, given his knack for finding soft spots in coverage. If he maintains this high level of play, he forces the coaching staff into a tough personnel decision before the final roster reduction date. This is where it gets real though, because we must acknowledge that his experience remains limited to the practice squad and preseason snaps against second-team units. Does the front office value this preseason production enough to risk cutting a veteran with guaranteed money? Some observers argue that consistency alone justifies a roster spot, while others prioritize established roles on special teams. My honest take is that while Reed looks electric, I worry about his ability to handle full-speed contact against starting cornerbacks throughout a regular season. Will he prove them wrong, or is his window closing quickly? Synthesizing the recent performance of Jaseem Reed with our long-term roster strategy, the picture that emerges is one of a front office finally rewarding pure, consistent production over draft pedigree. My take is simple. Keeping an undrafted player who understands complex concepts as well as Reed does is exactly how you build sustainable depth. Here is where it gets interesting, because while some argue for keeping veteran experience, I believe our future hinges on talent that actually produces on the field. If the coaches trust him, he stays. I want to know where you stand, so leave your thoughts below. Would you cut an established veteran just to keep Reed on this 53-man roster? Also, do you think his impressive 6-yard touchdown against Buffalo is a true sign of his readiness for the regular season? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel.